The world does not reward the good, it rewards the cunning. It does not protect the weak, it devours them. Everywhere you look, the rules you were taught are lies. You were told, work hard, play fair, be honest, trust others, but look around you. The lazy man lives off your effort, the liar cheats his way to the top. The manipulator smiles in your face, while he sharpens the knife behind your back. And you, the honest one, the loyal one, the good man, you are ignored, you are invisible, you are used, and when your usefulness runs out, you are thrown away. This is not an accident, this is the system, a system designed to reward predators and punish prey. The sooner you accept this, the sooner you stop living like a victim, because the truth is brutal. No one is coming to save you. The man who saw this centuries ago was Niccolò Machiavelli, living in Renaissance Italy, a time of blood, betrayal and constant power struggles. He watched kings rise and fall, generals murdered by their own men, and allies turn into enemies overnight. He decoded the hidden laws of survival. Not the laws written in books, not the lies taught to children, but the laws of predators, the laws of power, the laws of men who rule. And those laws are still alive today in your workplace, in your relationships, in your so-called friendships everywhere. You don't see them because you were blinded from birth, trained to obey, trained to play fair, trained to smile while being slaughtered. But tonight, that blindness ends. This is not motivation, this is not self-help. This is a survival manual. The weak will not understand it. The cowards will run from it. But you, if you are still listening, then something inside you refuses to die quietly. You feel it. The rage of being overlooked, the hunger for respect, the instinct that whispers, I was not born to serve. I was born to rule. Good. Hold on to that, because what you're about to hear is not advice, it is a weapon, forged in blood, tested in centuries of betrayal, war and conquest. Machiavelli called it the art of survival. I call it the only way left. Stop trusting, stop waiting, stop hoping. From this moment forward, you will be ruthless, and when you are ruthless, you will survive, and when you survive, you will win. Look closely. There are only two types of men in this world. The first is the naive man. He believes the world is fair. He believes people mean what they say. He believes loyalty is repaid with loyalty, and kindness is repaid with kindness. But reality, he spends his life waiting for recognition that never comes. He works harder than everyone else, but gets promoted last. He gives more than anyone else, but is appreciated the least. He loves deeply, but is abandoned the quickest. The naive man is invisible. He blends into the background. He is used as a tool and then discarded when he is no longer useful. And the worst part, he still wonders, why me? What did I do wrong? He doesn't understand. His mistake wasn't what he did. It was who he was. And then there is the other type, the ruthless strategist. This man doesn't believe in fairness. He believes in leverage. He doesn't play for approval. He plays for control. He doesn't ask for respect, and he enforces it. The ruthless strategist knows that trust is currency, and he spends it carefully. He knows that people wear masks, so he studies the cracks in their faces until the truth leaks out. He knows that being liked is a weakness, and being respected is power. While the naive man works to please, the strategist works to position. While the naive man talks, the strategist listens and calculates. While the naive man prays someone will save him, the strategist prepares to save himself, or burn the world down trying. I know this contrast, because I lived it. I was once the naive man, overlooked, used, betrayed. There was a day, and a sharp, brutal day, when everything snapped. When I realized no one cared how good I was. No one cared how much I sacrificed. No one cared about my loyalty. That was the day I buried the naive man. And in his place, I forged something else, something colder, something sharper, something ruthless, and now I tell you this. You must do the same, because the world does not reward the lamb. It rewards the wolf. The question is simple: will you stay the prey, or will you rise as the strategist? Law number 1. Fairness is a trap you were told since childhood. Play fair, share, be kind. Treat others how you want to be treated. It sounds beautiful, it sounds noble, but it's a lie, because the world is not fair. It never was, and it never will. Look around you. Do the richest men work the hardest? Do the most powerful leaders play by the rules? Do the most desirable people always deserve what they get? No, the ruthless win, the cunning rise, and the naive get crushed. Fairness is not a law of nature. It's a leash. It was given to you to keep you obedient, predictable, and weak. Your teachers drilled it into you. Your parents repeated it. Society rewarded you for it. Why? Because a man who believes in fairness is easy to control. He will keep giving even when nothing comes back. He will keep working even when others take credit. He will keep sacrificing even when nobody respects him. Fairness is the perfect prison. You can't see the bars, but you never escape. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He wrote, "Men are ungrateful, fickle, liars, deceivers. As long as you succeed, they are yours. But when you fall, they turn against you. Do you see it? Fairness is only expected from you, never from them. When you succeed, people will cheer. When you fail, the same people will walk away. So why should you keep playing by rules that no one else follows?" Here is the brutal truth. The man who waits for fairness is the man who dies waiting. In the workplace, you think your boss will promote you just because you worked the hardest? Wrong. He will promote the one who made himself look indispensable. In relationships, you think your loyalty will make her stay. Wrong. She will leave the moment a stronger option appears. In friendships, and you think your sacrifices will make them respect you. Wrong. They'll take what they can and vanish when you need them most. So what do? You abandon the illusion. You stop expecting balance. You stop expecting reciprocity. Instead, you enforce power dynamics. You give only when it strengthens your position. You help only when it builds leverage. You trust only when it benefits you. Understand this. Fairness is not your shield. It is the blade pressed against your throat, and the moment you drop it, the moment you refuse to play the game of fairness, you stop being the prey. You step into the cold, ruthless arena where real power begins. Because in this world, the strong don't wait for fair. They take what's theirs, and they never apologize. Law number 2. Ruthlessness is emotional discipline. When you hear the word ruthless, what comes to your mind? Violence, rage, shouting, a man out of control. That's what they want you to believe, because if you think ruthlessness equals anger, you'll never master it. The truth is the opposite. Ruthlessness is not chaos, it is control. A ruthless man does not scream when he is disrespected. He goes silent. He observes, he calculates, and then, when the moment is right, he strikes once, with precision, cold, clean, final. Machiavelli wrote, "If an injury has to be done to a man, it should be so severe that his vengeance need not be feared." Do you understand the wisdom? Weak men lash out emotionally. 100 small cuts. 1,000 little explosions. Strong men wait. They absorb, and then they deliver one decisive blow that ends the matter forever. Look at the world around you. A co-worker insults you in front of everyone. The naive man gets emotional, argues, shouts, looks insecure. He loses respect instantly. The ruthless man, he doesn't flinch. He lets it slide in the moment. And then, at the right time, he exposes that co-worker's incompetence in front of the boss as calmly, surgically, and ends his credibility in one move. That is emotional discipline. In relationships, too, weak men beg, argue, cry when betrayed. The ruthless man doesn't chase. He doesn't explain. He doesn't negotiate. He walks away with silence so cold, it burns deeper than any words could. Because sometimes silence is the loudest weapon. This is the essence of ruthlessness. Not violence, not rage, but icy self-control, a storm contained within steel. So how do you practice it? 3 steps. Number 1, pause before response. When provoked, don't react instantly. Breathe. Delay. The longer your silence, the more power you radiate. Number 2, observe patterns. Don't attack the first time. Watch your enemy's habits. Collect leverage. Wait until the impact will be maximum. Number 3, strike once without hesitation. No drawn-out battles. No petty arguments. Deliver one move so decisive, they'll never cross you again. Remember this. Anyone can get angry. Anyone can shout. But it takes a different breed of man to sit in silence, with fire burning inside, and still wait for the perfect moment. That is not weakness. That is not fear. That is discipline. And that discipline is what makes ruthlessness unstoppable. Law number 3, respect likability. Since childhood you were programmed with a lie. Be nice and people will like you. If people like you, they'll respect you. That's the biggest scam society ever sold. Because the truth is this: being liked makes you safe. Being respected makes you powerful. Think about it. The most liked person in your circle, the funny guy, the agreeable guy, the yes man, does everyone like him? Yes. Do they respect him? No, they use him, they laugh with him. But never consult him when it matters. They invite him, but never follow his lead. He's the entertainer, the background character, the supporting role in his own life. Now think about the man people respect. Maybe they don't always like him, maybe he intimidates them, but when decisions are made, he's in the room. When boundaries are drawn, nobody tests them. When he speaks, silence follows. Respect commands gravity. Likability evaporates in seconds. Machiavelli said it best. It is much safer to be feared than loved if one must choose. But here's the subtle twist. True power is not in being loved, not even in being feared. It is in being respected, because respect blends both. It carries authority without requiring cruelty. People don't have to like you, but they must never forget you. Here's the brutal truth. People pleasers destroy themselves trying to be liked. They say yes to requests they hate. They laugh at jokes made at their expense. They compromise their standards, their time, their energy, just to avoid disappointing someone, and in return, they get disrespected more. Because everyone knows the pleaser will tolerate it. He won't walk away. He won't retaliate. He won't demand respect. Now, let's flip the script. What does the respected man do? He says no without guilt. He sets boundaries once and enforces them. He doesn't try to be everywhere. His presence is rare, selective, valuable. He doesn't explain every decision. His word itself is enough. This isn't arrogance. This is psychological strength, and people feel it. Here's a scenario. 2 men are in a group. One is funny, likable, always saying yes. The other is composed, selective with his words, doesn't chase approval. Who do people test with insults? The funny guy. Who do people ask before making a big move? The composed one. Likability entertains, respect governs. So how do you shift from likability to respect? Raise the cost of your approval. Don't give your time, energy, or respect freely. Make people earn it. Be comfortable with being disliked. If you can't stomach people's disapproval, you'll always be their puppet. Choose standards over comfort. When you enforce your standards, some will resent you. But the right people will admire you. Understand this. Being liked means people enjoy your presence. Being respected means they adjust their behavior in your presence. One makes you popular, the other makes you powerful. Stop chasing smiles. Stop begging for approval. Be the man whose approval others chase. Because the day you stop living to be liked is the day you start being truly respected. Law number 4, decisive action. Create superiority. Weak men talk, strong men act. That is the difference between being dismissed and being remembered. Look around you. Most people make the same mistake, and they threaten consequences they'll never enforce. They say, next time you do this, I won't tolerate it. But the next time comes, and they tolerate it again. They say one more chance, and then another and another. Every warning ignored, every boundary violated, until their words mean nothing. You know what people learn from this behavior? They learn that your no is negotiable. Your boundaries are flexible. Your threats are empty. They stop fearing you. They stop respecting you. They stop listening altogether. Now, contrast this with the man of decisive action. He gives fewer warnings. He speaks less. But when he acts, it's final. It's loud, it's unforgettable. Machiavelli wrote, "If an injury must be done to a man, it should be so severe that his vengeance need not be feared." Translation, don't nibble at your enemies. Don't half punish, half forgive. If you must act, act in such a way that no one dares test you again. Picture this. A colleague repeatedly disrespects you in meetings, interrupting, dismissing, mocking. The weak response? You keep saying, "Please stop interrupting me." You complain to others, you fume in silence, nothing changes. The decisive response? You wait, you observe, and when the moment arrives, you dismantle him publicly, not with emotion, but with evidence. You expose his incompetence in front of everyone. You strike once, and the room never sees him the same again. From that day, people don't interrupt you, not because you asked, because you demonstrated. Decisive action creates shock waves. It's not about violence. It's about sending a message so clear, so absolute, that the entire environment reorganizes around you. This is how empires are built, not by endless debates, not by fragile emotions, but by rare, surgical strikes that echo longer than 1,000 words. Here's how you cultivate this principle in your life. Stop giving empty warnings. If you say there will be consequences, deliver them. Every time. Without hesitation. Act rarely, act heavily. Don't waste your power on small annoyances. Save it. And when you use it, make the impact undeniable. Make your action public. When possible, let others witness the cost of disrespect. It multiplies the effect tenfold. Decisive action builds a reputation. People start whispering, "Don't cross him. He doesn't play." That reputation travels faster than any self-promotion ever could. Understand this. Power isn't in talking about what you'll do. Power is in doing something once. So clean, so unshakable, that no one even dares test you again. Stop being bark with no bite. Stop handing out second chances like candy. Be the man who acts less often. But when he does, everyone feels the impact. Because in the end, it's not the man with the most words who wins. It's the man whose actions echo the loudest law. Number 5, perception is reality. Reality doesn't matter. Truth doesn't matter. Only perception matters. This sounds unfair. It is unfair, but remember, the world doesn't reward what's true. It rewards what appears true. A man may be intelligent, disciplined, loyal, but if he appears weak, insecure, desperate, no one will treat him as strong. Another man may be corrupt, manipulative, hollow inside, but if he projects power, certainty, and confidence, people will follow him willingly. Understand this. Humans don't see reality. They see illusions. Your reputation, your posture, your words, your timing, these shape the illusion people buy into. Machiavelli said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. This is why kings wore crowns, Why generals marched with banners, why CEOs wear suits they didn't need. Because the image comes before the substance. Think of perception like armor. It protects you before anyone even dares to test your strength. Walk into a room hunched, apologetic, distracted, you've already lost ground. Walk in calm, composed, carrying yourself like someone who cannot be ignored. You've already won half the battle before saying a word. Here's the brutal part. Most people spend their whole lives building inner worth, while neglecting outer perception. They scream, "But I'm a good person. But I work hard." It doesn't matter. If the world doesn't see it, it doesn't exist. Think of the powerful men in history. Julius Caesar, Alexander, Napoleon. Were they flawless? No, but they mastered the theater of power. They understood that appearance is a weapon. Caesar wore red cloaks so he could never appear bloody in battle. Napoleon stood tall in portraits so no one would think of him as small. Modern leaders flood the media with crafted images of power. Even when privately, they're drowning. Why? Because perception becomes reality. If people believe you are powerful, they treat you as powerful. If they treat you as powerful, you become powerful. Now here's the warning. Perception works both ways. Lose control of your image, and you lose control of your reality. Show too much desperation. People label you weak. Show too much kindness. People label you soft. Show inconsistency. People stop trusting you. And once an image is cemented in their minds, it's nearly impossible to erase. So how do you master perception? Control your presentation. Dress, speak, and move with intention. Every detail sends a message. Say less, show more. Silence creates mystery. Mystery creates intrigue. Intrigue creates power. Dominate narratives. If you don't control your story, others will invent one for you. Project certainty, even in doubt. People follow the man who looks like he knows where he's going, not the man who second guesses every step. This doesn't mean you fake everything. It means you curate the version of yourself that serves your goals, because no one sees the hours you put in, the battles you fight in silence, the storms inside your head. All they see is the mask you wear. So wear a mask that commands respect. Wear a mask that makes your enemies hesitate. Wear a mask so strong it becomes your reality. Perception isn't decoration, it's domination. It's the invisible force that decides who rises and who disappears forgotten. Law number 6. Control the frame, control the power. Every interaction is not a conversation, it's a battle of frames. A frame is the lens through which reality is defined. Whoever sets it controls the rules. Most men don't know frames exist. That's why they live as prisoners. They defend, justify, explain, all inside the other man's frame. And every defense is submission. The strategist never explains. He redefines. Boss says, "Why are you late?" The weak man justifies. The strategist replies, "What matters is that I deliver results faster than anyone." Frame flipped. Power seized. Seduction? Negotiation? Leadership? All are frame wars. The man who chases is trapped in her frame. The leader who begs is trapped in the follower's frame. Here's the dark truth. Facts lose to frames. A confident fool with a strong frame can dominate a genius with none. So master this. Stop defending. Flip, redirect, speak in absolutes. Stay calm. Use silence like a blade. Machiavelli wrote, "Men judge more from appearances than from reality. Frames are those appearances." Whoever builds the stage directs the play. Control the frame. Control the rules. Control the power. Law number 7. Loyalty is a transaction. Not a gift. Movies sell you the lie that loyalty is eternal. Reality says otherwise. Loyalty is rented, never owned. A soldier fights for pay or glory, not for love of his general. An employee stays for salary until a better offer comes. Even friends stay loyal as long as your presence benefits them. Machiavelli said, "The promise made was a necessity of the past." The word broken is a necessity of the present. Translation: people are loyal until they're not. History proves it. Caesar fell by his friends. Kings were betrayed by advisors. Companies collapse when loyal partners jump ship. Every betrayal is simply a transaction shifting hands. So stop treating loyalty as a gift. Manage it like currency. Incentivize it. Enforce it. Make betrayal more costly than reward. A Machiavellian strategist never expects blind devotion. He builds systems of incentives and consequences. He keeps replacements ready. He ensures every man around him knows the price of leaving is higher than the price of staying. Remember, loyalty has an expiration date. Don't beg for it. Don't assume it. Buy it, maintain it, control it. Because the moment you forget loyalty is transactional, someone close to you will cash out. Law number 8. Use fear sparingly, but never eliminate. Fear is the oldest currency of power. Machiavelli warned, "It is safer to be feared than loved." But too much fear breeds rebellion, and too little breeds weakness. The strategist treats fear like poison, enough to paralyze, never enough to destroy himself. Tyrants who ruled by terror burned their kingdoms with hatred. Generals who balanced respect with a shadow of fear built lasting empires. Why? Because fear creates discipline when love fails. Here's the formula. Set the tone early. First impressions must carry an edge. Punish publicly, reward privately. One visible consequence is worth 1,000 speeches. Draw an invisible line. Even allies must feel a limit they dare not cross. Picture the nice boss who only wants love. Deadlines vanish, authority dissolves. Now picture the respected boss who forgives once, but punishes hard the second time. Who runs the stronger empire? Love alone is exploited. Fear alone is unstable. But love mixed with fear, that combination binds men tightly. So never erase fear. Never overdose on it. Use it like a hidden blade, sharp, precise, unforgettable. Because the man who masters fear doesn't just lead, he endures. Listen closely. Because this is where the theater ends and the real war begins. This is not a lecture. It is an alert, a perimeter siren, a last bell before the hunt. Right now, while you scroll, while you sleep, while you excuse another slight, a psychological war is being fought around you. Not with guns, not with laws, with influence, perception, and the slow calculus of advantage. Every handshake, every meeting, every relationship is a battlefield. And right now, the men who understand these laws are positioning themselves, while the rest of the world remains complacent. If you do nothing, if you cling to fairness, if you keep trusting without proof, if you keep waiting for recognition, someone else will learn these rules and use them on you. They will take your clients, your promotion, your partner, your reputation. They will engineer outcomes while you make moral arguments. That is the simple, brutal arithmetic of survival. This is your last warning. Stop waiting. Stop hoping. Start dominating. Not by becoming cruel for its own sake, but by becoming sovereign. Make decisions that protect your time, your value, your future. Build systems that enforce consequences. Cultivate perception that works in your favor. Practice silence as a weapon. Hold your fire until one clean, decisive move ends every argument before it begins. You are not being asked to become a monster. You are being asked to become effective. Say it now, lean out loud, or type it in the comments. Make it a ritual. Make it real. I refuse to be prey. I choose to be predator. This declaration is not a slogan. It's a contract with yourself. It marks the moment you stop practicing victimhood and start practicing strategy. Repeat it until it changes how you sit, how you speak, how you move through rooms. Repeat it until others start adjusting their behavior around you. Join the movement. This is not a feel-good tribe. This is a collective of men who refuse to be passive, who refuse to be invisible. and who enact systems that produce results. Share this video to wake the ones still dreaming in fairness. Comment the declaration to mark your decision. Subscribe to join the pack, because knowledge without community is half a weapon. Remember, predators do not announce their hunger. They prepare, they position, and when the moment is right, they act. If you've listened this far, you're not accidental. You are chosen by your own will. The choice is stark and immediate. Remain prey or become threat. The world will not wait for your moral awakening. It will reward the prepared. Decide, commit, execute. The hunt begins now.